A lot of people approach the startup process with a very vague idea, and naturally they cannot start, and if they start, they can't go far. So here we talk about the entire startup life cycle, the entire process of the startup process itself, so that you have a chance to be a startup finisher. Learning startup is necessary. Unfortunately, it is very hard. A lot of people have this magical fantasy that they don't have to learn about startup. That's wrong. Uh, Here I make a stupid comparison between starting up a business and world indoor cycling. Here this girl is cycling backward. Uh, with cycling, you can imagine if you are pushed to do this and you fail, fall many, many, many times, you might actually be as good as this girl or not. Startup is a lot harder, okay? And part of the reason is you end up with money and growing. And that's something that's very rare and is harder than this. I compared the startup process to learning driving, learning swimming. And in the case of swimming, at least there are a lot of people around you who can swim. In the case of driving, can you imagine going to uh, learn to drive without going to a driving school? You can probably, the fortunate few can learn from their parents, but that's not a very good idea. If somebody give you a whole bunch of books, that amounts to nothing. The whole bunch of startup how-to books amounts to menus in the car. You still don't know how to drive. You still have to fail. But the problem is, for startup, no one will allow you to fail because it's very expensive. Many people think that startup is a free-for-all. Okay, I can think my way out of it. This famous logo of think from IBM. It fools a lot of people. A lot of people are drawn to Steve Jobs, and Steve Jobs have said many things. Passion, stay hungry, stay strong, be crazy, do a little extra work. So what exactly is the key to a successful startup or to be a finisher like Jobs? Change the world, think different. I'm a genius. Those things are very paralyzing. The four words that a beginner, a first time startup person, that means you have never failed, never lost your entire investment money. You should not try any of these four words. Those are very dangerous. Think, different, change, clever. Do not have any association with those four words. In a lot of schools, engineering schools, business schools, kids like to sit around and brainstorm. This amounts to nothing. A bunch of brainstorming people without any inside knowledge of the industry that they're trying to disrupt. It's just, a kids play. It's called a startup theater for a reason. So the real process for a startup is this, okay? It's what I consider two lives in one. In the first life, you fail all you want. In the second life, you succeed all you want. The problem is a lot of people don't have two lives, obviously. A lot of people ended up dying around here, and they don't know anything. They don't try startup, which is fine. Um, the real startup starts with you quitting your job, not with you getting a job. Okay, startup is not a job. You need a founder. You need two founders. Actually, one is not enough. And you fail all you want. You spend up all your money. You burn all the cash. And you fail, and then you realize something. Okay? This is unfortunately very necessary. And in the end, you drive toward a brand, a business. But you have to be fortunate enough to live two lives, or to live two lives in one. The veteran startup entrepreneurs start with ideas, many, many ideas, and they choose. Okay? Or the lucky few started with a sales and they develop. You don't think your way out of anything. Okay? So here I finish this startup life cycle sequence. I hope you like it. I'll see you in future episodes.